Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WN YouTube channel. I'm live with your SmackDown and AEW Rampage reviews. I also have some of your WWE and AEW Sunday night news that we're going to go over today after both reviews. If you guys are new, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Let's get a lot of likes on the stream minimum. This is going to be a good review tonight. I'm hoping to get through this as fast as I can. I know an episode of American Monsters is coming on tonight, and On the Case with Paul is on. It's coming on right after that. So I'm going to be live for both episodes. I'm going to have them paused, though. If I miss it, I'm going to have it paused. I just got to get started on the thumbnail and the background as soon as I get done reviewing SmackDown and Rampage and giving you guys your AEW Sunday night news. Anyways, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. You can also add me on Snapchat. The links to my Instagram and Facebook accounts are in the description below. Also, my Snapchat name's in the description below too, as well. Now, all of your WWE and AEW Sunday night news that I have listed in the description below is going to be the news that I'm going to be giving you guys. So we're going to go ahead and kind of get started with the SmackDown review. We're going to start with SmackDown. Man, so what happens when you have skin, sensitive skin, man? Freaking lips had a little bit of skin in it. SmackDown was a pretty good show last week. You know, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary, if you guys know what I mean. SmackDown felt like basically decent show, you know, nothing bad on the show overall. SmackDown delivered way more than Rampage did last week in a lot of ways. But then again, going back to Rampage, Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita was the best match, easily the best match on Rampage this past Friday. Easily. I mean, despite the fact that even though you're not supposed to book a babyface going up against a babyface, because we all know a babyface versus a babyface and a heel versus a heel dynamic makes 0 sense whatsoever. So, despite the fact that both of those things don't make sense, Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita was defiantly the best match on Rampage. I think the best match on SmackDown was the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship match between the Usos and Sheamus and Butch. In my honest opinion, that's my opinion. I think the Undisputed Tag Team Championship match was the best match overall on this past Friday night SmackDown. You know, Rampage had some downs, but it had mostly ups. Orange Cassidy versus Trent Seven was a good match, too. It wasn't the best, but it was solid in its own right. You know. We got some news on Sasha Banks. Got some news on Trent Seven's status in AEW, as well as news on Thunder Rosa. Like I said, we're going to go over all that after both reviews. And I just want to thank you guys for joining the live chats, man. I really appreciate it. And I also want to thank you guys for supporting me and my channel. You know, your support for the channel goes a long way. You guys just don't realize how much that means to me, how much your support means to me, man, and the channel. Like, really. I don't think you all understand. Like, it's really, 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 really helping, and it's really motivating me going forward with my life, you know, as a YouTube content creator and as an employee, because, you know, I got a job, too. I work at KFC, so. But I'm not going to be there for too long, because next year will be my year working there. I am indefinitely leaving that job next year. Now, I know the question on some of y'all's mind is, will I be getting another job? I don't know. As stressful and tough and aggravating these jobs are out here, I don't know. I don't really know, man. I try not to let that stuff bother me. I really try not to let that stuff bother me, man. Really. When it comes to daily life, when it comes to routine, you got to focus on yourself. You can't freaking focus on everybody else, man, because everybody else is not going to be there for you. You know? At the end of the day, you got yourself to worry about. You got yourself to focus on. You know, you can't let people freaking ruin and disturb what you're doing in your life. You know, if you have a goal in life, keep on achieving it. Keep on going. Don't let people talk you dirty or freaking say negative things. Don't let people get in your minds, man. People in this world are crazy. They don't care about nobody but themselves. They want to go out here and kill and shoot people, yet they don't want to come together with the community to help put a stop to the violence. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? The crime rate's getting worse in the United States, you know. There's been so many innocent people getting shot by corrupt cops, man. You know, it's not a good situation. It's not a good thing to see. It's really not. If somebody ever talks back to you and start being a smartass or being a dumb idiot, just walk away from them, man. Just put on some earbuds and listen to music and just ignore them. That's what I do. Anybody that talks negative to me, that talks back to me, that aggravates me and stresses me out, gives me a headache, I just freaking walk off. I just don't even listen to them. I just walk off. Go to my room and just sit down. I just walk off. I just walk away from them, man. You know? Because it ain't really worth it at the end of the day. It's really not. Some things can let you down. Some things can bring you down in life. Not all things, though. But yeah, Friday Night SmackDown, it was great. I mean, it didn't really SmackDown had no ups and downs, really, to be honest. It was a great show. Nothing bad stood out on SmackDown at all. Nothing. Everything was picture perfect. It was great. We saw story, we saw build on this show. The fans were over with some of the talent on this show and everything. Now, the same doesn't go with AEW Rampage. The same doesn't goes to that show. I mean, Rampage wasn't really much. I think the only two best things on that show was simply Moxley versus Konosuke and Orange Cassidy versus Trent Seven. That's pretty much it. Everything else on that show didn't really pique my interest whatsoever. I mean, AEW has really got to do better with their Rampage Rampage shows, and they really need to squash matches on Dark and Elevation every week. Nobody wants to sit. Nobody wants to sit for darn 50 seconds and watch a freaking squash match. I mean, come on. That you easily lose audience just booking matches like that. Nobody's got the time for that, man. Really. The only way you're going to get fans invested in your show is if the shows are written and produced right. If you have the right legitimate men's and women's roster, if storytelling is right and it makes sense, and have the fans get over with the talent. Make sure the matches are booked right. You know, make sure the talent is being used and booked right on TV and not being wasted and put in Titus catering. Something Vince and Bruce did when they were in charge. Remember I said Vince and Bruce, they don't fucking care about men's wrestling or women's wrestling. They don't care about themselves, the money and the power. That's all Vince and Bruce cares about. They didn't give two fucks about none of that young talent they had. None whatsoever. They didn't care. Psychopaths is what they are, man. Evil is what they are. I mean, look at the talents. Look at the talents that Vince and Bruce buried when they were in charge. They went and buried Apollo Crews. They went and buried and wasted Andrade, Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano, Candice Ray. Got rid of them. They got rid of Braun Strowman. They got rid of Bray Wyatt. You know, they got rid of all this talent. They released 200 plus talent because they had no used this talent. They could have used this talent for suitable roles. They could have put this talent in suitable roles for the 2021 Royal Rumble. I said this last week. Here I am saying it again. But no, they didn't do that. They decided to release them because they ain't had no plans for them then, which didn't make any sense to me. I fixed the webcam. I knew it was going off. I don't know what the heck's going on with it. But it might be my laptop. But anyways, it's sad. It's really sad. Half of those 200 plus talent actually got brought back by Triple H and his administration. Triple H made some good changes to Raw and SmackDown. And now I think his focus now is on making changes to NXT. He already said that NXT premium live events will not be at the Performance Center. They'll be out of the Performance Center. But here it is. Here it was Sunday. And I'm seeing news that pay-per-views, NXT pay-per-views like New Year's Evil and Vengeance Day are going to be at the Performance Center. Now, last week, I went over the news on NXT having premium live events out of the Performance Center. And here I am seeing news saying that they're having it at the Performance Center. I mean, it was confusing. It didn't make sense. It's like, why all of a sudden I'm hearing that NXT premium live events will be out of Performance Center, and then days later I end up seeing news that NXT pay-per-views like Vengeance Day and New Year's Evil will be inside the Performance Center. I don't get that. It's almost like WWE was trying to clickbait us when they were saying all this, man. You know, Ringside News did their job, man. Writing their news articles. Ringside News did their job, man. But I don't understand why WWE would say that, would come and say that, and then days later they say something else. I don't know, man. Just didn't make sense. It just didn't stood out right. It just stood odd to me, man. And it's almost like they were trying to confuse us, wrestling fans, on purpose, man. I don't know. That's just me. This is how I feel about it. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and begin with the SmackDown review, and then I'm gonna review AEW Rampage, give you guys my thoughts on it, on all the matches that were booked for that show. So, SmackDown wasted little time this past Friday, kicking off the show with the hotly anticipated title defense. Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa anticipated the champions, while Ridge Holland, second the challengers, and then end of the match saw Sheamus and Bush push their twin opponents to the brink of defeat, in other words, only for a perfectly timed 1D from the Usos and some expert interferences from Zayn to ensure the historic run of Jimmy and Jey continues. Now, Sheamus is in the midst of one of the greatest resurgence we have ever seen in WWE. That is absolutely true. In a lot of ways, it's true, man. And that did not change here. He was arguably the best wrestler in the match and elevated from the already excellent product that we have to come expert from, or should I say expect from, these individuals. Now, Zayn assisting the Usos in retaining helped further the element of the storyline while protecting the babyfaces from a clean loss. It's great. It was a great start to the show. And the latest in the phenomenal in-ring performance, the in-ring output from both teams, would have graded out even higher without the commercial interruptions. Now, I'm going to note top moments here, but I'm only going to say one. One that stood out to me. One that stood out to me was that Pete Dunne added a moonsault from the middle rope onto Usos at ringside as the Brawling Brutes rolled. I thought that was pretty cool. LA Knight called out Bray Wyatt. LA Knight hits the ring next, eager to call out Bray Wyatt for sneak attacks that have left him injured over the last month. Now, the recent NXT expert aired footage highlighting the mask Wyatt wore during his return at Extreme Rules, lurking in the background as evidence of the former Universal Champion's involvement in his injuries somewhat. A video interrupted featuring Uncle Howdy urging Wyatt to do it, that Knight deserves it, ended with the mask Enigma suggesting the door is closing. Now, this was interesting for a few reasons, most notably the fact that Knight is paying attention and actually out Wyatt and his involvement that have been popping up on TV for weeks now. And secondly, in the Howdy video, a woman's voice can be heard in the background, echoing the sentiments of the central figure. Now, while it is impossible, it is very, very impossible to be sure without isolating it. The voice sounded like that of Alexa Bliss. I'm just going to say that. The same Bliss who was actually subject to said Wyatt mind games Monday night. Now, Bray Wyatt versus Knight may not have been the most obvious first program for the former's comeback, but it has featured some solid storytelling. And the eventual match will go a long way in telling us exactly what this incarnation of Wyatt is going to be all about. Now, I love this ongoing feud between LA Knight and Bray Wyatt. I mean, I think that's what's best for business, man, to be honest. I mean, it really wasn't bad. It's storytelling. It's long-term booking. To me, in my honest opinion, it is. And it makes sense to book LA Knight in the feud with Bray Wyatt. It just does. Really. It really, really does, man. But, you know, I wonder when Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight is going to be booked. Is it going to be booked for the Rumble, or is it going to be booked for Elimination Chamber? May could see the match happening at Elimination Chamber. Because you would think that Wyatt and LA Knight would insert themselves into the Royal Rumble, would enter their into that Rumble. Because the 2023 Royal Rumble is in January. My birthday is in January, so, you know, it just would seem like that. Another thing I was going to say is that, what was it? I don't remember. Never mind, guys. Never mind. I don't remember what I was going to say. Anyways, guys. Wyatt versus Knight may not have been the most obvious first program for the former's comeback, but it has featured some solid storytelling. Now, the match between those two will go a long way in telling us exactly what this incarnation of Wyatt is going to be all about. That's what I think. And Knight pointing out the mask hidden in the background of the injury angles was a nice touch. It provides just how intriguing, just how intricate the storyline has been, just how absolutely interesting the storyline's been lately. We got a hit roll interrupting Viking Raiders versus Legado Fantasma match. Now, this ended in a no contest. It was nice to see these three teams featured in this segment, if only because it establishes the foundation of a tag team division on SmackDown, which it does, I believe it. The Usos reign for so long, they have been so dominant, it feels as though there is no competition for them. Now, booking a segment like this keeps all three teams at the forefront and allows fans to get familiar with the next in line to Jimmy and Jey Uso's throne. And in the process, it sets up a series of fresh new matches between those involved. Let's hope so. On top of that, it gives us the side feud of B-Fab versus Valhalla versus Vega. I don't know if I want to see a program like that on my television or not. I don't think that match is going to do any good. I think they should just leave that match alone. I don't want to see it because I know it's going to be a complete disaster. I don't want to see it on TV. I don't know why anybody would want to see B-Fab and Vega wrestling in the ring. No, they are not good in the ring. No, I'm sorry. Nobody wants to see B-Fab versus Valhalla versus Vega. But a program featuring women's wrestling is not really central to the title scene. It's really not. I don't know if you guys knew, but backstage, Knight continued his pursuit of Wyatt, only to end in a dark locker room confronted by the masked superstar. And we got Ricochet in the New Day versus Imperium. Now, I'm going to start as a contract signing for next week's Intercontinental Championship match between Ricochet and Gunther. It with New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods backing up. The one and only, and a verbal exchange giving way to a six-man tag team match. The match featuring the aforementioned babyfaces battling Gunther and Imperium teammates Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser was as good as one would expect from the 6 competitors involved. Now, the heels built heat by isolating Woods and Kingston at different points in the match before a hot tag to Ricochet and the showdown with the ring general. Now, the action intensified with everybody with every passing moment, escalating until Kingston rocked Kaiser with Troubled Paradise. Ricochet put him away for the win. There was a nice table setter for next week's title match. Ricochet looked great, building momentum for himself while booking positioned him as a regular real contender to Gunther's, as a legit contender to Gunther's title. Now, the question is, the real question is, guys, does he stand a chance in actually beating Gunther once more? The answer is no. But the Chicago fans should be red hot for the one and only in his quest to dethrone the ring general. They should. Now, it also highlighted New Day, who will challenge Pretty Deadly for the NXT Tag Team titles Saturday at NXT Deadline. Now, I gotta ask you guys a question. Have you ever watched wrestling? Obviously, you're gonna say yes, right? Well, Woods asked Adam Pearce during the failed contract signing, knowing full well the formality of it all would ultimately devolve into a match. Kingston Woods paid tribute to the late Jason David Frank with green and white Power Ranger inspired gear as well. And as you guys know, the Street Profits and Alpha Academy did have another confrontation, this time backstage at Kurt Angle's birthday festivities. I was going to say birthday bash. But anyways, moving on. So we have Liv Morgan versus Tegan Nox. Or actually, Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox versus Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. I'm surprised to fire Ronda Rousey chants. The Ronda Rousey hashtags. You know, hashtag fire Ronda Rousey is still trending on Twitter, man. Yeah, that is still trending on Twitter. I am still shocked. I am still shocked that that's trending on Twitter, man. I mean, nobody's a fan of Ronda Rousey. That doesn't shock me. I mean, she's awful in the ring. I mean, nobody cares for Ronda Rousey. SmackDown Women's Division doesn't need Ronda Rousey, man. SmackDown Women's Division needs females like Sasha Banks, man. Or maybe a Chelsea Green or a Nikita Lyons, you know? Talents like that. SmackDown Division doesn't need Ronda Rousey, man. I've been saying this for weeks. They need to get Ronda Rousey off of TV. She is absolutely terrible. She really is. That pairing with Shayna Baszler, I don't think it's good. I really don't. It's boring enough seeing Ronda Rousey on TV every week. I don't know why Paul Levesque continues to have Rousey on TV when he should be fired. She needs to go, man. She has to go. I think the fire Ronda Rousey hashtag was trending on Twitter. Nobody cares for Ronda Rousey anymore. She's not a good wrestler at all. Her gimmick is boring. Her entrance sucks. Everybody is starting to lose interest in Ronda Rousey. People are going to lose more interest in her as the weeks go by, man. Then she's going to force herself to freaking quit from the company because the fans are picking on her, shitting on her, and talking about her. And Now back to the Viking Raiders versus Legado Fantasma. The live crowd either didn't care about Hit Row or they weren't sure who to side with based on how quiet they were. Now, it was a bit confusing to have the Viking Raiders working against another heel team before Hit Row arrived. LA Knight entered a locker room backstage, found a new Wyatt t-shirt. The lights went out. Knight used his cell phone camera light, discovered that the man was in the room with him. And as for Raw hyped, the previously advertised number one contenders with Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. Backstage, Angle was shown introducing Stevenson to Shinsuke Nakamura, Madcap Moss, and Emma. A man off camera handed Angle a homemade pulled back to show that it was Jason Jordan who didn't hook Angle. It was a good moment. It's a darn shame that Jason has to be unable to return to the ring after neck surgery. It seemed like he was just, coming into his own. He suffered the injury on the bright side, been working as a WWE producer ever since. Really a shame, man. Really is. It is what it is, though. You got to do what you got to do at the end of the day. You can't fix the problems that can't fix you. Ricochet made his entrance, and then the Imperium trio of Gunther, Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci made their entrance. Cole hyped the Gunther versus Ricochet match for the Intercontinental Championship for next week's SmackDown in Chicago. We'll give out the news on what's booked for SmackDown when I go over your AEW Sunday news, so you guys won't forget. So that way you'll know ahead of Friday. That way you'll know ahead of time. That way you'll know early what's going to show. Now, the card might be subject to change. I don't know. You never know. Adam Pearce was in the ring, had men take a seat at the contract signing table. But sadly, he was interrupted. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods came out with microphones, acting on cringe, as usual. Woods told Pearce they were sorry for interrupting. They wanted to make sure they had a front row seat for what was happening. Kingston said they knew contract signings go and assumed that Imperium would attack Ricochet. Woods worked in a plug for their NXT Tag Team title match on Saturday's NXT Deadline show. The NXT Deadline, Ring of Honor fights. Both pay-per-views delivered well. They were absolutely great. None of the matches on the Ring of Honor Final Battle pay-per-view did bad at all. In fact, all the matches on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view did well. However, NXT Deadline, all the matches did well on that pay-per-view too, except for Isla Dawn versus Alba Freya. I thought that match was just utterly boring. I think it was awful. I think they could have did better with that match, to be honest. They could have added a stipulation. They could have easily booked Alba Freya versus Isla Dawn in either a string match or a steel cage match or a freaking cinematic match or something, man. I mean, geez Louise. I didn't understand why they had to do this match the way they did it. The way it was booked, the way it was written and produced, it didn't seem right. It didn't look right. I hope to God the Ray gets called up to the main roster because I feel like her days in NXT are over. And I feel like they're going to waste her on TV up to the main roster, which is something Vince and Bruce did already. You don't want the Triple H administration doing the same thing, which I know they won't, because I know the Triple H administration cares about all their talent, unlike Vince and Bruce, who don't. But anyways, Check out, man. My goodness. Wood said that if Imperium went after Ricochet, then they could put a whooping on them or something like that. Then Pierce asked if they were really thinking that would happen. If they really thought it would happen. Woods asked Pierce if he's ever watched wrestling. Good point, Pierce responded. Funny. Ricochet signed the contract. Once he signed the contract, a New Day Rocks chant broke out. You know, they do that thing with that New Day Rocks. You know, that cringe on TV. Gunther told Ricochet that he wants him to remember that he's the person who took the title off of him. Gunther says he's beaten Jey twice, proves that he's not worth of being Intercontinental Champion. Gunther said he would beat him next week. Gunther said the difference between Imperium and the other three is that they are professional wrestlers, not performers. Asked if he heard Gunther say that Imperium had a problem performing. The babyfaces kind of got the crowd to chant, Imperium can't perform. Ricochet stood up, told Gunther that he's in for the fight. He won't quit. Everyone will see him win the Intercontinental title. Now, first off, Gunther stood up and tossed the contract signing table to ringside while the baby faces cleared the chairs. Pierce called for an official, and then the two sides started fighting. So the brawl was breaking loose. The baby faces trio cleared the heels known as the Imperium from the ringside and then performed stereo dives onto them. So we got Imperium versus the New Day and Ricochet, the one and only. The babyfaces worked over Kaiser to start while Barrett questioned why New Day would risk injury when they will be challenging Pretty Deadly for the NXT Tag Team titles on Saturday. I thought the NXT commentary was just utterly complete garbage, man. I mean, they did. Vince Joseph did absolutely terrible on commentary. I didn't like it. I didn't like the commentary. I didn't like the match between LeDon, Alba Frey. Everything else on the show was great. Everything else on that pay-per-view was great, man. That commentary and that LeDon versus Alba Frey match. But why would the New Day risk injury when they will be challenging Pretty Deadly for the NXT Tag Team titles on Saturday? I'm getting my stuff up. Vinci made a blind tag and then worked over Woods, dumping him to the side. And then the Imperium trio continued to isolate Woods. Gunther booted Ricochet off the apron. Ricochet eventually tagged in Kingston, who had a flurry of offense on Vinci. Kingston performed a crossbody from the ropes, got a 2 count on Vinci. Kingston performed the boom drop, played to the crowd. Kingston tripped Vinci up for a move, but then Kaiser grabbed his leg from the floor. Vinci distracted the referee while Kaiser hit Kingston with an uppercut. Vinci tossed Kingston over the broadcast table. Then Gunther put his arms around Kaiser and Vinci heading into break. So Gunther and Ricochet in the ring together. Ricochet worked Gunther with punches, kicks until Gunther ducked between the ropes. Aaron said it was a very different version of Ricochet. Gunther eventually came back and went for a powerbomb, but Ricochet countered into a sunset flip for a near fall. A short time later, Kingston and Vinci ended up as the legal man. Vinci performed a moonsault on Kingston. Then Ricochet to the ropes performed a Hurricane Rana on Kaiser. Ricochet sent Gunther back to the ringside. And then Kingston Trouble in Paradise on Kaiser. Then tagged Ricochet in. Performed a shooting star press, scored the win. After the match, Ricochet approached Gunther who stood on the apron, stared at him. Ricochet said he doesn't stop. Despite how cringe the New Day are serious when it comes to immersion. They will give you a hell of a performance in the ring. When it comes to in-ring competition, the New Day gets serious. And they get serious real quick in a good way. The New Day are great in the ring. Their gimmicks are just cringe. But it's a good match with the right in terms of Ricochet getting the pinfall for his team heading into his title match with Gunther. The creative forces have done a nice job of rebuilding Ricochet. I must say, I'm impressed with the Triple H administration. This doesn't really surprise me, though. I mean, if Vince or Bruce was still in charge, they would have rebuilt Ricochet, wasted him and buried him, and threw him in Titus Cameron until he got released from the company. I'm glad WWE still has Ricochet. Now, I know some of you all are curious, like I am, to see how they handle it next week, because Ricochet losing decisively could undo some of the progress that's made. Now, my guess is that Ricochet is a highly competitive match. Maybe. I hate to see him lose, though, but something tells me it's going to happen eventually. Backstage, Chad Gable and Otis tried to join the Angle party, but a man told them that they are not on the list. So apparently, Alpha Academy were mad. I know if I wasn't on the list, I'd been. Street Profits, Montez Ford, and Angelo Dawkins showed up. They were on the list. They taunted the Alpha Academy duo. Something tells me the Street Profits were the ones that got Alpha Academy off the list. Somebody marked Alpha Academy off the list, man. I wonder who didn't list them. Makes me wonder. Cole hyped the Angle birthday celebration for later in the show this past Friday. The Usos, Sami Zayn, were shown celebrating in their locker room while Solo Sikoa sat with his arms crossed. Why does Solo Sikoa continue to sit with his arms crossed? I don't get it. Is he the enforcer or something? Zayn suggests they get dinner. Jimmy and Sikoa got up, walked away, but Jey had Zayn stay behind. Jey is coming week and suggests that he his hair beard. Zayn wondered why. Jey told him that after War Games, he believes next week will be a big week for him. Uh-oh. I wonder if this is going to the Bloodline turning on Sami Zayn this week. It makes me that's suspicious. Why would Jey Uso tell Sami Zayn to cut his hair? Similar to what Kevin Owens did. Kevin Owens himself looked like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was cosplaying Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. He had Stone Cold Steve Austin's gimmick. That was similar to what Kevin Owens had to do. Man, it makes me wonder, dude. Could this be the end of Sami Zayn being a member of the Bloodline this week on SmackDown? Could it be? Guess we'll find out. Turns out this week's episode of SmackDown is going to be pretty interesting just because Roman Reigns is on the show, just because the Bloodline's on the show, and Bray Wyatt. That's the only reason why this week's episode of SmackDown is going to be interesting. I don't see nothing else being interesting. Now, Cole said he would be wearing shorts in 3 weeks when John Cena returns with those legs. Baron asked Cole hyped Cena's return for December 30th on SmackDown from Tampa, Florida. Rey Mysterio was shown working with a trainer in a backstage area. Karrion Kross and Scarlett showed up. The trainer called for security. Kross said it wasn't going to be like that. Kross spoke to him. I think Kross was playing it off. He knows he wants to do so much damage to Rey Mysterio. He knows he wants to ruin Rey Mysterio's life. He knows he wants to destroy Rey Mysterio. He wants to annihilate Rey Mysterio. He wants to tear Rey Mysterio to shreds. That's exactly what Karrion Kross is going to do when Rey Mysterio steps in the ring with Kross and goes one-on-one with him, either on SmackDown or on the Royal Rumble or check view. Now, Rey must have Dominique on the back of his head because Kross spoke to Rey about what happened with Dominique Mysterio and how Rey came to SmackDown for a fresh start. Kross noted that Scarlett is from Romania and said life can be tough for people who live there. Kross relayed a story. He said Scarlett told him about her family's, the rough bred horse that went from being a champion to being a workhorse and eventually couldn't go anymore. He couldn't go anymore eventually. Kross recalled Scarlett telling him that the horse had a look in its eye once it realized that it was useless. Now, Kross said it's always sad when an animal has to be put out of its misery. The security arrived, asked if there was a problem. Kross said no. Kross simply said no. Now, them told Rey Mysterio to look at the time. He closed with his usual TikTok. Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox made their entrance. My eyes is burning. Oh my God. I can't stand when my eyes do that. Cole set up a video package on Nox that she narrated. It covered her knee surgeries and her backs. Lacey Evans' military training video aired. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler their entrance. Going on at that, Rousey made her do their angle. Nobody gives a fuck. I just want to throw that out there. Then plugged angle segment for later in the show. Cole also announced that Shotzi had been due to the Drowsy and Shayna Baszler attack outside the venue. Are they going to try to copy JD using the word venue now? Too late. The word is owned by JD from New York himself. You got the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. We got Team Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler versus Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox. Cole said it was an important match because the winning team could find themselves in position for a shot at the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Rousey caught Nox in an ankle lock, but Nox rolled out of it. Both women tagged out. Then Raquel Rodriguez. Well, she's not smiling Raquel anymore, but she came out mad. She came out more like angry Raquel. She didn't come out smiley. We didn't see smiley Raquel. She came out as angry Raquel. In a more serious mood. She came out with her arm in the brace and tried to get in the ring. She was stopped by Adam Pearce and other producers. At least he's not Kevin Dunn. Hopefully he'll be gone from WWE eventually. While the broadcast team explained that she's medically cleared, Rousey dropped off the apron, then Pearce between her and Rodriguez. Meanwhile, Nox entered the ring and hit Baszler with a Shining Wizard And then Morgan pinned Baszler. What kind of women's match was this? I would never understand. Backstage, Kurt Angle said it was time to go to the ring for his celebration. Gable Stevenson asked if he wanted him to come with. Angle told him to stay and enjoy the party. Babyface is passing on, having someone at their side rarely ends well. It was nice to see Knox get a video package, but and then have her established to the crowd, and then have her debut. Same with Mia Yim. Same with Mia Yim. I said that 2 times. Same with Mia Yim. Same with Mia Yim. It's almost like I sound like a robot, man, the way I said that. But the point is, guys, Knox should have got a vignette first. All jokes aside. And then they could have had her establish herself to the crowd and then have her debut. Same goes for Candice Ray, Emma, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. And even Chelsea Green, man. You know, I feel like Chelsea Green didn't get vignettes. I feel like they didn't have Chelsea Green establish herself to the crowd and have her debut in the right way possible, in good fashion, if you know what I mean. I don't know why they decided at the last minute to give Tegan Knox a video package when they should have been giving her vignettes. Anyways, it was brief, but I guess it explained the basics and is an upgrade over just assuming that all viewers followed her run in NXT. The following matches segments were announced for next week's SmackDown. Roman Reigns appearing, Gunther versus Ricochet for the Intercontinental Championship. Io Sky, Dakota Kai defending their WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Tegan Knox for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Now, I do have that on my thumbnail. I have that titled in my thumbnail, not in the actual title. And then Hit Row versus Cruz Del Toro and Wild versus the Vikings will be happening for this week's episode of SmackDown in a triple threat tag team match. So that is all of what's slated for SmackDown. I'm going to try to get I'm trying to try to get my SmackDown and AEW Rampage watch along scheduled early. Yeah. I'm talking like I did last night, man. That's what happens when you feel nauseating and a little dizziness. You can't get what you're going to say out. Can't get it out right. Kurt Angle made his entrance and was surrendered to usual "You suck" chants. Really, he doesn't suck. In real life, he doesn't. In WWE, he didn't suck. They just say that to be, I think the fans just say that to make him laugh. And, you know, I think that's why they do it. That's why they do those "You suck" chants. The ring was decked out with red, white, and blue balloons. And because they really love Kurt Angle. Every single WWE fan in that ring are really huge fans of Kurt Angle, too. That's another reason. But anyways, red, white, and blue balloons. There was cake set up on the table. Once in the ring, Angle thanked the Pittsburgh fans and was quickly interrupted. Alpha Academy, Chad Gable, and Otis came out. Chad Gable with his shoosh. Anyways, Chad Gable and Otis came out. Gable took issue with not being on the guest list for Angle's birthday party. He pointed out their ace sweaters and said he got Otis a tie, which is tough to find for a guy who has no neck. Gable said angered by them outshining him. Gable said the fans were right for chanting "You suck" at Angle. Gable and Otis entered the ring. Gable said Angle has no integrity, lost his intensity, and should leave the ring if he wanted to maintain his intelligence. Gable said celebration was over and Otis was going to eat Angle's birthday cake. And eat the cake chants broke out. Eat the cake, eat the cake. That's what the fans said in the arena, in the crowd. Gable said that Eagle doesn't listen. He might end up with another broken neck. And then that's when, at that point, I was just like, ooh, oh, really? You're gonna? I don't think Kurt Angle wants to end up with another broken neck. I mean, remember the last time he had a broken neck. Look at the things Corbin did to him. I mean, really. Angle left the ring and went to the stage. Gable said the cake tasted like salty tears. Ugh. Angle said that if they were going to eat the cake, then they would need a lot of milk. A man drove a milk truck into the arena while Gable Stevenson was hanging from the side. It's the first time I've ever seen Gable Stevenson on SmackDown on the main roster, on a main roster brand, known as the Blue brand. Angle and Stevenson grabbed small milk containers and threw them at Gable and Otis. Angle pulled out a hose. He pulled out water hose. Then sprayed the duo with more milk. Angle and Stevenson entered the ring while after he rolled out the other side, Angle and Stevenson toasted and then pounded milk. Angle Stevenson posed on the ropes to close the show. Now, I think Gable Stevenson appearing on SmackDown is probably either a sign or an indication that he will be at WrestleMania 39. That or he could be on his way to making his WWE debut next year. Now, it's not exactly how some people envision Stevenson's main roster debut going, but what the hell? It was a quick and heartless callback to a classic WWE scheme, though they wanted Angle to manage Matt Riddle at one point. So it makes us wonder if they hope to have him do the same for Stevenson once he's ready. Overall, the show did peak with the tag title match. As I said, to be fair, the Usos are a tough act to follow. And this show was better than Monday Night Raw, to say the least. So, all right, guys. Now let's get on with the AEW Rampage review. Rampage off with Jon Moxley versus Konosuke. Now, Rampage opened up. Konosuke and Moxley already in the ring, ready to fight. They circled each other a bit before locking up for the first time. It's rematch. Obviously, this past Friday's episode of Rampage was taped. Moxley won their previous encounter. So, Konosuke was taking a slow approach, if you will, at first to, feel him and see if he could find a weakness in his arm. After a few minutes, Moxley pulled out his hand as a show of respect, but he slapped Konosuke before he could shake it. This act of disrespect immediately changed the feel of the match. The subsequent physicality was a nice follow-up from their first encounter in July at Fyter Fest. Konosuke came close to winning a few times and even knocked out the Death Rider. He was unable to survive the Bulldog choke. Hangman Adam Page ran down and brawled with the former world champion after the match until the Blackpool Combat Club broke things up. This was easily the best match on Rampage. And it even says it in my title for my SmackDown and AEW Rampage review. Now, this match, even though it doesn't make any sense to book a babyface versus a babyface and a heel versus a heel, I will go ahead and take my time and sit here and say that the match wasn't bad at all. White hot, bless Jon Moxley, because, you know, that opening match was strictly designed to make Konosuke knew he made the right decision by moving to America because AEW had his back. And boy, does AEW have. I mean, that match was great. It's finally worth going out your way to see. Things considered. Now, it was probably the best Rampage match, which I said it in the right after I went over this match with you guys. I said it was the best match on. And here I am saying it's the best match in 6 months as well. Well, it's easy for people to be Tony Khan consistently telling us Rampage will matter one day. Yeah. Some weeks Rampage mattered, some weeks Rampage didn't matter. Because they were booking some garbage. Some weeks you get garbage, some weeks you don't. But the company sure did this match. I don't know about the show entirely, but Konosuke is a superstar after that match. And it wasn't not like, you know, the star Mankey Wheeler Yuta performance we saw when he bleed everywhere a bunch of months ago. This time, it was mostly going color. It was mostly going color. But that drama added to the legend of Konosuke. More of this. More of that. We need more of that. But it needs to be a babyface versus a heel match. It doesn't need a babyface versus a babyface match or a heel versus a heel match. Babyface versus a heel match or a heel versus a babyface match. It needs to be one of the two. Now, Rampage goes on break. Back from break. Got a video. We got a very quick congratulations for Hook because it's his 1 year anniversary from there. We got a promo from Stokely Hathaway. It was designed to remind everyone that Lee Moriarty still exists. Now, it was then back to the ring where we got Hikaru Shida versus the Bunny for the Regina di Wave champion. What is that championship? See, this is what I'm talking about. What is championships like that doing on AEW television? Especially if it belongs to Japan. But anyways, it was announced that whoever wins the match will get a shot at Jamie Hayter, which I titled in my AEW Dynamite review that I went live with last week that Hikaru Shida will be Hayter's next challenger. Mark my words. And sure enough, here I was, right again. Right again, I say. Women locked up. Shida took Bonnie to the ground before they break. The two pushed each and exchanged elbows. Shida hit an enziguri before Bonnie essentially choked Shida with her legs. As Shida sold pain from that, we got our next picture-in-picture break. Then back from break, the wrestlers traded thrust kicks. Bonnie went for the rabbit hole. Shida countered by hitting a rabbit hole of her own, of course. The referee could count 3, through candlestick into the ring to the ring. Shida went outside front forward, and Bonnie tried to help, but instead kicked forward. Back inside the ring, Shida hit a driver for a 2 count. She then landed the spinning kick knee for a win. Now, Hikaru Shida, just as I predicted, is now the number one contender for Jamie Hayter's AEW World Championship. I was right. I was right, man. I was right. I said last week that Shida will be Hayter's next challenger. Mark my words. Sure enough, it happened. Sure enough, Shida became the number one contender by beating the Bunny easily. This was almost like a squash match. Almost. Right after the match, Jamie Hayter's music hit. The two shared each other down while Hayter stood on the ramp. From there, we saw video for Mercedes Martinez versus Athena. Athena weirdly said she needs to win, which she did. She beat Mercedes Martinez to become the new Ring of Honor Women's Champion. That absolutely, her win absolutely marked the push desperately, obsessively needed in AEW. Even though the match did happen at Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Congratulations to Athena, man. I think she absolutely deserved it. I mean, there's a whole reason why the fans were Mercedes Martinez. I mean, she's been out with the Women's Championship for 3 months and never defended it. I don't think the fans that booed her knew why she was out. Probably because they seen photos of her and Vampirous. She's probably been flirting around with Vampirous, man. Maybe. Her and Vampirous might be dating. Might be a lesbian couple. Right after the match. No, I'm just joking. I went over there already. So, after we got that promo video for Mercedes Martinez versus Athena, we went back to ring. We got the stupid firms, Big Bill and Lee Moriarty versus Clayton Bloodstone and Izzy James. This match did not really matter to me. This was not the best match on the show. In fact, this match was uninteresting, to say the least. Moriarty began the match with Bloodstone, eventually kicked Bloodstone which took Bloodstone down. Who the hell is this Bloodstone guy? Who is Izzy James? Who is these guys, man? I don't get it. And they were never given no entrance at all. You noticed that, right? They were never given no entrance. Clayton, Bloodstone, and James. Moriarty worked 2 separate submissions on both opponents with a smile on his face. Just like I'm going to have a smile on their face. Just like I'm going to legitimately have a smile on my face when AEW finally breaks up the firm. Ethan Page can finally go back to being a singles competitor. Will Morrissey can try to have Will Morrissey reunite with Enzo Amore. We can get the Acclaim feuding with Enzo and Big Cass. Get Lee Moriarty going back to doing his own thing. And then the Gun Club will go back to chasing after the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Now, Big Bill tagged in and James tagged in and Bill smashed James. Bill kicked Bloodstone out the ring. James came off the top, but Bill caught James, no relation to James Storm, by the way, by the neck and hit a big choke slam for the win. As soon as the match ended, I got an interview with FTR. Cash spoke first and said they lost their chances at making history at Dynamite. Dax claimed in and said they are the most wild animals in the world. Dax said they are going to finish the FTR Briscoe history, which they did. That was a match. That was easily a match of the year candidate. Here, I thought the match was going to do that, and it ended up doing good. Here, I thought that Donkey Kong match was going to be boring, and it ended up delivering so well, man. Now, that was easily match of the year on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. After that, You got a promo from Ortiz and Eddie Kingston. Ortiz talked about how he's worked hard to be respected. They aimed their comments at House of Black. The women's match, I guess it was fine. I think people are forgetting that Shida was a champion in AEW when she wrestled. It should have been more weight than it sometimes has. You know, her winning here to go on and face should be very, very. Jamie Hayter is going to walk in and walk out still your AEW World Women's Champion. Hikaru Shida is not beating Jamie Hayter. There's no way it's happening. Jamie Hayter will be an AEW World Women's Champion forever. I do not see Jamie Hayter dropping that title anytime soon. Once they feud her with Britt Baker's going to lose. Jamie Hayter's going to retain over Britt Baker. There's no way Britt Baker is winning that title back. That's not happening. Britt Baker's already AEW World Women's Champion. Why would you want her with the title back when she's already been champion? I think Jamie Hayter winning over Britt Baker to retain her AEW World Women's Champion would be the biggest win of Jamie Hayter's career as AEW World Women's Champion. That's the way I feel about it. But Hikaru Shida versus Jamie Hayter for the AEW World Women's Championship should be a good match and a very good tone setting bout for Hayter's reign as champion. Now, I know some of you are probably not sure if they were teasing a Ford Bunny breakup because of that wayward kick near the finish of the match. That's the way I saw it. I don't think that's the way you guys saw it. But if they did, I think both could do well by it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if anybody would be interested in that in a Bunny Ford feud or not. A Bunny Ford breakup feud. The tag squash was what it should be. Even though I don't like watching squash matches on my television, it really wasn't that interesting. It was not that good at all. It really was. It's not that good, dude. The match was fucking pointless. It was absolutely pointless. Everybody did a terrible job with what they did in this match. At all. Absolutely boring. Easily the most boring match on this show. It just didn't offer enough opportunities for anybody interested. Period. They really need to break up the firm, man. It's time for the firm to man. It's time for the firm to separate. Period. It really is. We got Orange Cassidy, Trent 7. Orange Cassidy was tasked with defending the AEW All-Atlantic Championship against a mystery opponent. This past Friday, the mystery man ended up being Trent 7, formerly known as, well, he is known as Trent 7. He is currently Trent 7 still, but he was, put it this way, he was a former NXT UK star and a former member of Mustache Mountain. With Tyler Bate, they had a reasonably respectful start as both men posed, but 7 began to unload with stiff chops that almost took Cassidy down. Penelope Ford, who had accompanied Cassidy's rival, Kip Sabian, to the ring, ran away to get the Butcher, Blade, and the Bunny so they could fight best friends to the back and leave Cassidy all alone with 7 and Sabian at ringside. Why this happened, I don't know. Cassidy ended up using Sabian to his advantage when he pulled him in the way of a suicide dive from 7. After kicking out of all of 7's best moves, Cassidy was able to get the pin with his finisher. And Sabian immediately attacked him after the bell. Dustin Rhodes came to help. Cassidy ended the show on a positive note. It was a fun and frantic match with a few standout spots. It will be interesting to see if 7 pops up in AEW and Ring of Honor anytime soon. Now, the match between Trent Seven and Orange Cassidy was fine for what it was. You know, who would not want to be a fan of Trent Seven? He is great in the ring, man. His gimmick is great too. You know, many people were happy to see him get the call. You know, something tells me we probably won't see him again on AEW television, or if we do, it'll probably be on YouTube, maybe. He'll probably be featured on Dark or Elevation. Shows that I no longer watch because they book squash matches after squash matches every week. As if anybody's going to invest their time in watching squash matches. I mean, come on. The boringest matches you would ever not want to watch on TV. Now, I thought, in my opinion, he really matched up well with Cassidy when you think about it. And clearly some people in AEW had thought about it a lot. Now, the mustache gimmick doesn't have all that much distance between the pockets gimmick, and that provided an entertaining first few minutes of the match, unless you don't like that stuff. In the case, so it's what you make of it. I suppose it was a fine enough match, but it wasn't no Moxley versus Konosuke. And again, well, it is. Even so, both matches didn't have much doubt when it came to the outcome, but they also serve as a pretty sharp thermometer for what makes Rampage a show, I guess, sort of worth seeing, and what makes Rampage a show you can somewhat afford to skip. The opening match was a great wrestling match with drama, star power, and really compelling in-ring work. The last match was quirky, fun, and in-ring work that had its limits. Someone in AEW knows the difference. It's just been a while since we've seen so far. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for your SmackDown and AEW Rampage review. If you guys enjoyed the SmackDown Rampage review, hit up. Let me know in the comments below. Also, let's get some more likes on the stream, because I haven't seen any likes on the stream. Hit the like button. We can't be lacking likes here, man. Hit that freaking like button, man. Let's get a lot of likes on the stream. No complaints, no excuses, man. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're on the road to 600. I currently have 509 subscribers. I just got a new subscriber today, so. Guys, I may not be going live with American Monster, and on the case of Paul and John, watch along, because American Monsters is already on, and I think I'm just going to watch it without the watch along, man. Without being live for both episodes. I'm just gonna push my American Monster and on the case of Paul Zon watch along to next Sunday instead. I really just don't feel like going live with both episodes, man. You know, I just don't feel like doing the watch along today. I really don't. And plus, I need a break from. I'm probably gonna need a break from YouTube, maybe. But tonight I am uploading Sky Blue versus Jamie Hayter match number 1. I will be uploading that. So there's gonna be plenty of more content streamed to produce on here on the IWN YouTube channel. Now I need to find out what's going to be booked for AEW Rampage this week, so I can go ahead and start working on the thumbnails for my SmackDown Rampage watch-alongs. We know what's going to be on SmackDown. We know what's going to be on NXT, and I know what's booked for Monday Night Raw. So I'll have my Monday Night Raw reviews and NXT reviews scheduled. I'll have them scheduled early. It should be on the channel by in the morning, hopefully. So, and I should have AEW Dynamite scheduled by either Monday or Tuesday. I need to find out the card for AEW Dynamite because I don't know what the card is for that show yet. Oh, yeah, I do know what the card is for AEW Dynamite because this week AEW Winter's coming. House of Black will be in action. We have Death Triangle versus the Elite, match 4, series of 7. Then we got MJF defending his AEW World Championship against Ricky Starks. That's the card for AEW Dynamite Winter's Coming. So I will have my AEW Dynamite Winter's Coming watch along scheduled early. So I think I'm going to start with doing an AEW Dynamite Winter's Coming thumbnail. I think that's what I'm going to start with. And then I'm going to do Monday Night Raw thumbnail. Have my Monday Night Raw review scheduled for Tuesday. Maybe. Have it scheduled for Tuesday morning. For Tuesday morning, when I come home from work, my Monday Night Raw review will be on the channel. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is, once I do the thumbnail that's gonna have Sky Blue Jamie Hayter on it, I'm gonna do a good thumbnail both of them too, with both of them on it. When I do a thumbnail with Jamie Hayter and Sky Blue on it, I'm going to put in the description, put in what I need to put in, upload the video to the YouTube channel, and then I'm going to start on my AEW Dynamite Winter's Coming thumbnail for the AEW Dynamite Winter's Coming watch along and for the review as well. So I know MJF is rotating over Ricky Starks, so MJF is going to be on my thumbnail for review, and he's going to be on the thumbnail for watch along as well. Now, and then after that, I'm going to do the Monday Night Raw thumbnail. I'm going to have Seth Rollins and Alexa Bliss. Lexa! I like saying it like that because I'm hilarious. The way I say it is funny. Lexa! Anyway, I'll have Alexa Bliss and Seth Rollins on the thumbnail for my Monday Night Raw review because I know Alexa Bliss is walking in and walking out as the #1 contender for Bianca Belair's World Championship, and I know Seth Rollins is walking in and walking out as the #1 contender for Austin Theory's United States Championship. It's happening, whether people like it or not. I've been saying this for 5 days now. I've said this for weeks. Watch, it's gonna happen, and then when it does, everybody's gonna watch this. They're gonna watch my Monday Night Raw review. They're gonna watch my AEW news live streams, and they're gonna be like, IWN was right once again. I'm gonna be right once again. MJF is retaining over Ricky Starks. The Elite are going to win over Death Triangle to tie it up. House of Black is going to win their returning match on AEW Winter's Coming. And we all know that Dakota Kai and Io Sky are retaining over Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox. That's going to happen. The tag team triple threat match between Legado Fantasma, Hit Row, and Viking Raiders is probably going to end in another fucking DQ. It's probably going to end in a fuck finish. Roman Reigns' return is probably going to lead to nothing. Just going to be a segment. It's going to lead to nothing because there's no match slated for Roman Reigns for Elimination Chamber. Now, the Royal Rumble, we could see Kevin Owens come in and cut a promo on Roman Reigns. We could see Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the Royal Rumble, and I think that needs to happen. That match needs to happen. Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens shouldn't have to be in the Royal Rumble. They don't need to be in the Royal Rumble, man. Roman Reigns has already won a Royal Rumble. I think Kevin Owens has already won a Royal Rumble, too. I think Kevin Owens is a former Royal Rumble winner too. Roman Reigns is. I know Roman Reigns is. So I think Kevin versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Champion would be the perfect match to build for the Rumble. That's just my opinion. That's just me. Okay. As far as Elimination Chamber goes, I think after the Royal Rumble, I think that's when we're going to start seeing the Bloodline turning on Sami Zayn, and then we get Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos for Elimination Chamber. Maybe. I don't know. Unless, now, if we're getting it for WrestleMania 39, then I'm all in for it. Take my money. I'm all in for it. Either way. So that's what I know so far. So if I know who's winning, who's coming out as the number one contenders on Monday Night Raw, and I know who's winning coming out of Dynamite and who's winning coming out of SmackDown, then you know, that's how you know I'm going to have all of my watch-alongs reviews scheduled early. See, I'm smart. I'm already ahead just based on everything I said. Look, I feel like I'm already ahead of the community just based on what I said. It's not until I say stuff like this. This is legitimately the first time I'm ever saying this. I feel like I'm already ahead of people, man. I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but mark my words, Alexa Bliss is walking in and walking out as number one contender for Bianca Belair Women's Championship. Mark my words, Seth Rollins is walking in and walking out as the number one contender for Austin Theory's United States Championship. Mark my words, the Elite is going to beat Death Triangle, and it's going to be 2-2. Mark my words, MJF is going to retain over Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks is not winning. It would not make sense for Ricky Starks to beat MJF when MJF just became AEW World Champion. Think about it. House of Black, they're going to win their return debut on AEW. Dynamite Winter is coming. As far as NXT goes, I think we could see Kaden Carter and Katana Chance retain over Toxic Attraction. Or it could go another way. Mandy Rose could come out and help Toxic Attraction win the NXT Women's Tag Team titles back. Given that the rumors are that Mandy Rose is going to be dropping the title to Roxanne Perez, so she, along with Jacy Jayne and Gigi Dolan, can get called up to the main roster, I'd say they need to go to SmackDown. SmackDown is in dire need of star power right now. SmackDown does not need Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair can go to Monday Night Raw. I'm tired of seeing Charlotte Flair on SmackDown. She needs to be on a different brand. Monday Night Raw would be great for Charlotte Flair. A lot of people really don't want to see Charlotte Flair back, and a lot of people feel like that WWE doesn't need Charlotte Flair, just like WWE doesn't need Brock Lesnar, WWE doesn't need Ronda Rousey, WWE doesn't need Lacey Evans. Get them out, man. Like, really. WWE doesn't even need Logan Paul. I hate to say it, but it's true. Now, I know JD is big on Logan Paul, but I don't know, man. There's just something about the guy. It's just he's not really a wrestler, man. He shouldn't be on TV. I mean, I know he got over well in this match against Roman Reigns. I mean, I give him props for that, but I feel like WWE shouldn't have people that can't wrestle on TV, man. I mean, he's a celebrity, you know. You're supposed to have wrestlers on TV, not celebrities, you know. That's the way I feel about it. Celebrities should be in seats watching the matches rather than being booked in matches. That's the way I see it. You know what I'm saying? That is the way I legitimately see it. I'm not trying to go off as no idiot, but you know, I'm just speaking truth. I'm just being honest. But anyways, guys, I'm going to take a 3-4 minute break. I will be right back. When I come back, that is when I'm going to be going over your WWE and AEW Sunday Night News. And then after that, I'm going to end the stream from there and go ahead and start on the thumbnail where I'm going to be uploading Sky Blue versus Jamie Hayter, match number 1, because that was listed in my YouTube content creating schedule. And then I'm going to start on the AEW Dynamite thumbnail. Listen to some music while I'm doing it. And schedule AEW Dynamite. And then start on the Monday Night Raw thumbnail and schedule Monday Night Raw. And I'm going to do backgrounds for both of them too, of course. And then I'm going to have the AEW Dynamite review scheduled. And probably have the Monday Night Raw. Well, not Monday Night Raw watch long because I still work on Mondays. I'm going to have, after the AEW Dynamite review schedule, I probably have the, I'll have the NXT review scheduled for Wednesday afternoon. That's where I'll be giving you guys your WWE and AEW Wednesday afternoon news. We're going to have a lot of news coming this week because the Royal Rumble is closely approaching already. We know it's going to happen. And I think New Year's Eve New Year's Eve is closely approaching. NXT New Year's Eve is closely approaching, man. It really is. And the Royal Rumble. Wait to be live with more AEW and WWE pay-per-views all over again next year. It's gonna be great. Next year's gonna be a great year for me, man. This year and 2021, both years have not been good for me. Both years have been the worst years of my life. I'm ready for 2022 to go bye-bye. I hate 2022. I hate living in this era. I'm ready for it to go bye-bye. I done had too many deaths in my family. It's time for this year to go. It's time for this year to go, man. It really is. I'm tired. I'm even tired of seeing the number 2022. I'm tired of seeing it. I'm ready for this year to go. I'm ready for a fresh new start next year in my life, man. Because I'm turning 24. I really am. I shouldn't have to suffer from my father's death for so long, man. Like really. It's really taking a toll on me, and I don't want to suffer anymore. I want to move on and keep on doing what I do best, you know, which is making you guys laugh, entertain you guys, give you guys the content you want to see and what the content you want to watch here on the channel, the content that'll invest your time in watching, content that you will enjoy, content that you will like here on the IWN YouTube channel, man. And I'm also all about working to get this money, man. I'm going to be buying a lot of new games for the PS4. I'm going to be back to streaming games again very, very soon. So when I stream games, there's probably going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot more people in the live chats now than there was before because now I have 509 subscribers. So I imagine most of them are going to be people that subscribe to my channel and the people that's members of my IWN community page, people that are on my IWN community page that like my IWN community YouTube posts. But anyways, guys, gonna put on some new free royalty music for you guys. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. It'll be time for you during AEW Sunday Night News when you come back, guys. So hang tight, because that's coming up next here on the IWN YouTube channel. I will be back. and gentlemen, it's now time for me to give you guys your WWE and AEW Sunday night news. We're going to go ahead and start with your WWE Sunday night news on WWE's plans for New Day after their NXT Deadline title victory. Now, the New Day is regarded as one of the greatest tag teams in the history of WWE, even though they can be cringe, but they are good at what they do in the ring. They are serious when it comes to in-ring competition. Said it countless of times. It's not really hard to see why. They have been part of numerous historical matches and won the tag team titles several times. They also made history at NXT Deadline. It was also noted that if Pretty Deadly are not able to defeat the New Day again, that it's a possibility that they could be called up to the main roster, and I could see them fitting on the Monday Night Raw Tag Team division, because Monday Night Raw Tag Team division only has the Street Profits and Alpha Academy. There's no other team. There's no other legit teams on that roster. So Monday Night Raw desperately needs more tag teams, and I think Pretty Deadly and the Creed Brothers would be a perfect fit for the Monday Night Raw Tag Team division, man. The Hurt Business is rumored to get back together. I mean, I could see them going up against Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander of the Hurt Business, man, you know. That pairing of R-Truth and Shelton Benjamin is seemingly scrapped. Good, because R-Truth is out of injury. He's out with injury. And I think that was a bad decision on WWE's part to pair up R-Truth with Shelton Benjamin anyway, knowing they're not an actual tag team. Now, it seems Shawn Michaels wants them to compete at NXT Vengeance Day as well. I'm talking about Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day. The New Day challenged Pretty Deadly for the NXT Tag Team Championships at the Deadline pay-per-view. Against all odds, the New Day won the titles, completely shocked fans. While speaking during post-NXT Deadline press conference, Shawn Michaels also talked about the New Day's future in NXT. Michaels made it clear that he will do everything in his power to ensure the New Day compete at NXT Vengeance Day on February 4th. So we are probably going to be getting a rematch of Pretty Deadly and the New Day for Vengeance Day. I think the New Day versus Pretty Deadly is the perfect it's the perfect match, the perfect rematch to book for Vengeance Day, in my honest opinion. I think that's the first match that's going to be booked for that pay-per-view. It makes sense. I mean, they're feuding. It makes sense to continue the feud all the way to Vengeance Day. I think after Vengeance Day, we could see Pretty Deadly getting called up to the main roster. It's safe to say that at this point. It's not certain if they are or not, but it might happen. It might. It says here, and I quote, "We had a call the other day." Shawn Michaels says that I generally and sincerely was. We weren't sure what we were going to do. I'm always pretty honest with you guys. You know, it's one of those things like I will send a couple of texts and I'll see what we can do. And then he goes on to say, once again, none of it has been finalized yet. But I have every intention, because as best that I understand it right now, the New Day is still a part of SmackDown. So our titles should finally be representing that crossover that we had in the last several months. Is going to continue. I will say this, sometimes I think we lost the concept of the fact that I guess I'm always conservative and I don't ever want to bother anybody. And I don't any more than I could. But every now and then, all I have to do is ask a question. There's said we have to just see if it works for everybody. Absolutely say because that's something special. Saturday's huge win made Kofi Kingston a record-setting 15-time tag team champion. That passes the Briscoes record as 13-time Ring of Honor tag team champions. So that's got to feel good for Kofi Kingston. Eclipsing Booker T's record of 14-time title wins in WCW and WWE, and eclipsing the Briscoes record of 13-time Ring of Honor tag team champions. That is something. That's something, man. That is something. We'll have to see how the New Day will fare as the NXT tag team champions. What's y'all's take on what Shawn Michaels said? Let me know in the live chats, guys. All right, guys, moving on to your next WWE Sunday Night News. This one is on Scarlett. So apparently, guys, Scarlett made her main roster in-ring debut during a WWE live event. Scarlett signed a contract with WWE in 2019. However, since her debut, she has only wrestled 2 matches for the company and largely served as Karrion Kross's valet. After a long time, Scarlett finally made her in-ring debut for Vince McMahon's former company. Karrion Kross had been building his wife Scarlett's in-ring debut for a while now. Finally, it took place during WWE's recent live events in Wheeling, West Virginia. Prior to this week's show, Scarlett had only been, booked for 2 previously WWE in-ring performances. Now, this could start a new run for her if she gets physical in the ring. It appears that WWE could be setting up for a huge big mixed tag team angle on television. Karrion Kross and Scarlett squaring off against Emma, Madcap Moss in a tag team match. Unsurprisingly, Karrion Kross and Scarlett were the winners when all was said and done. For the past few weeks, Karrion Kross and Scarlett have been going after Rey Mysterio as well. Regardless, I guess we'll have to wait and see what WWE has planned for them. What WWE has planned for them is for Karrion Kross to start his feud with Rey Mysterio, which he did. So, and it's possible that we are getting Rey Mysterio versus Karrion Kross for Elimination Chamber. There's no way we're getting it for the Royal Rumble, man. I think Karrion Kross and Rey Mysterio are gonna insert their entries into the Royal Rumble. I can see Karrion Kross and Rey Mysterio being in the Royal Rumble, man. That don't mean they're gonna win it. I know who's gonna win it. The person that should win it, that it only makes sense for to win it, is Cody Rhodes. So that way, Cody Rhodes will have his match with Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 39, and then we can see Roman Reigns losing to Cody Rhodes, losing the WWE Championship to Cody Rhodes, and then we could see Roman Reigns versus The Rock for Night 2 for the main event of WrestleMania 39 Night 2. I think WrestleMania 39 Night 1 should be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. Night 2 should be Roman Reigns versus The Rock in a one-on-one match. That's the way to go about it. Have Roman Reigns lose to Cody Rhodes. Have Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns to become the WWE champion at WrestleMania 39. And then have Roman Reigns beat The Rock. That's that. So that way Roman Reigns will have a loss at WrestleMania 39 Night 1, and he'll have a win at WrestleMania 39 Night 2. I think that's the way to go about it, man. That's the way to go about it. I'm going to repeat it again so everybody can hear. Cody Rhodes is going to be the one to win the Royal Rumble. It only makes sense because this would lead to a Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns in WWE, and then they will be feuding. I think, in my opinion, they are slated to feud all the way till the WrestleMania. They are slated to feud all the way to WrestleMania. But then, once WrestleMania 39 gets here, we'll start to see Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. And that's where Roman Reigns will drop the WWE Championship to Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania 39 Night 1. And then, WrestleMania 39 Night 2, because I know Roman Reigns is going to have 2 matches. And even JD knows too. And for WrestleMania 39 Night 2, I think Roman Reigns, well, never mind, I think Roman Reigns versus The Rock needs to be booked for WrestleMania 39 Night 2. That's where Roman Reigns will ultimately defeat The Rock. Now, it could be Roman Reigns' last match. We don't know that yet. We don't know if he's going to Hollywood or not. I don't think he is. I think he's going to sign a full-time deal with WWE, man. Roman Reigns is going to be with WWE for a long time, in my honest opinion. I don't think he's going anywhere. I would be shocked if he leaves WWE and go to Hollywood. I would be shocked if he did what Sasha Banks did. I'd be shocked. Really. I really would be. Now, there's some news on Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks and Naomi, of course, they walked out in the middle of Raw back in May. It opened up a can of worms to a large extent. In fact, Banks has more or less wished, or should I say, washed her hands off of WWE, and is likely done with the company. As previously reported, Banks is set to attend the Wrestle Kingdom 17 event in Tokyo Dome on January 4th, 2023. This will mark her first appearance for a wrestling promotion in months. Due to this, many believe that Sasha Banks might be leaving WWE for good. That is where Wrestle Kingdom 17 is where Sasha Banks versus Kairi Sane will be taking place. More than likely, I think. I might be right. I might not be. I mean, it only makes sense for Sasha Banks versus Kairi Sane to take place at Wrestle Kingdom 17. That's the match Sasha Banks wants. That's the person who Sasha Banks wants to face. That's the person she chose to face. She's known Kairi Sane in WWE for a long time now. And she's known Kairi Sane ever since her days in Japan, in my honest opinion. Now, while speaking on the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that after ascertaining the current situation, Sasha Banks is done with WWE. We know that. Meltzer would go on to note that things could change, but for the time being, she's done with the company. It says here, and I quote from Dave Meltzer, she's not going back to WWE, but you cannot always rule that out. Maybe they'll just say she's more trouble than she's worth. She's asking for so much money, which is, of course, the attitude a month ago of, oh my God, how can she ask for so much money? January the 4th, Tokyo Dome. At other dates, Mercedes Fernando, or whatever name she will go with. But as of right now, she's done with WWE. It can change at any moment. Hassan, I'm trying to give you guys your AEW Sunday Night News, okay? So if you don't mind, please, thank you. And please listen. Mercedes Martinez, or whatever name she will go with. But as of right now, she's done with WWE. She can change at any moment, but that's the situation right now. End quote. Sasha Banks, New Japan Pro Wrestling deal is also not through WWE. A possible location for Banks' New Japan Pro Wrestling appearance is also under consideration. For the time being, Sasha Banks' time with WWE seems to have come to an unfortunate end. Hassan, what did I just tell you the first time? I said I'm trying to give my audience and everybody else subscribe to my channel your WWE and AEW Sunday Night News. Do you really even care that I'm talking, that I'm trying to give people their WWE and AEW news? I do this every week. You should know this. You're always in the chat with me. Why are you asking all these questions? Just listen. Just stop chatting and listen. Do y'all think Sasha Banks is done with WWE for good? Let me know. Let me ask you a question, Hassan. Do you even care to even listen to WWE and AEW news? Do you even care about all the WWE and AEW news that's been trending lately, that's been on the internet? Do you care about the WWE and AEW Sunday Night News and all the other AEW WWE news that I give out every week? Do you care? I mean, I'm just asking. You act like I ignore you, but I see your chats. I see your comments. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're saying in the live chats. I know you're trying to ask me how I'm doing. I know you're being nice, but when I'm trying to give people their WWE and AEW Sunday Night News, I don't need people to be asking me questions. I need people to be doing what I tell them to do. If I ask you, what do you think of this story? Or what do you think of the story? What's your thoughts on this? I expect people to comment in the live chat their thoughts on their story. Okay? That's what I expect. I hope you get it now. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to be honest. Now, guys, let me know your thoughts on the story on Scarlett's main roster in-ring debut. And let me know your thoughts on WWE's plan for New Day after NXT Deadline title win as well. All right. Next, we have some current Angle news that we need to go. Angle. Apparently, the person that approached WWE first about the birthday celebration bash, the birthday celebration, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle approached WWE about the birthday bash. And it says that Kurt Angle recently celebrated his 54th birthday on SmackDown, considering his birthday was the same night as SmackDown. WWE decided to host a special birthday celebration in honor of Kurt Angle. It turns out that this was Angle's idea. Now, this past week on SmackDown, Kurt Angle celebrated his birthday by recreating his famous milk truck segment by dowsing the Alpha Academy with milk while Gable Stevenson stood by his side. We remember I went over that on the SmackDown review. Now, during a recent episode of the Kurt Angle show, Kurt Angle revealed that he was the one who approached WWE with the idea to host his birthday celebration on SmackDown. I'm assuming the Kurt Angle show is Kurt Angle's podcast. That's what I assume. Says in, I quote, "Well, I approached WWE and said, listen, your Olympic hero is going to have a birthday on December the 9th. You're going to be in Pittsburgh. WWE is going to be a Pittsburgh. It's a perfect time to celebrate my birthday." So they were like, yeah, we'll think about it. They came back to me and said, okay, we're going to do something, said Kurt Angle. End quote. Kurt Angle then continued to reveal the original plan for the segment where he was supposed to hose down an unspecific number of milk out the show. On the say they wanted me to do the milk truck segment again. They decided to have a bunch of heels talk about me during the show, all through the show, putting me down, ripping on me. And in the end, they were coming out to the ring because I was supposed to have my celebration. I don't show up. And the heels are in the ring with all the birthday cake and everything. I come in with milk truck and I go down. I spray them down. I tell them, hey, you can't have cake without milk. It's awesome. When I was told this, I was so excited because that was my favorite moment in WWE, driving that milk truck into the arena in Sacramento, California. It was my number one moment. I absolutely love that. I had such a great time doing it, and it was an awesome moment for me to be able to do it again, end quote. Good for Kurt Angle, man. I'm proud of him, man. I'm glad he got to have his moment. WWE gave him his perfect thing that he wanted to do on WWE television on SmackDown. Now, while the original plan did not really exactly match the one we seen on television, it was still a fun segment to watch. Now, it'd be interesting to see if WWE does this more often with other legends as well. What is y'all's take on this story? Sound off in the live chats. Some more news on Kurt Angle. He says he's back to being retired after WWE SmackDown appearance. Kurt Angle took to Instagram to thank Triple H. He also mentioned that it's time to go back to being retired. Thank you, Triple H. Now back to being retired until next time. Hashtag you suck. End quote. So this is the second time Kurt Angle is making an appearance in front of his hometown crowd this year. It will be interesting to see when he makes his next appearance. I'm getting ready to show you guys the Instagram post right now. I'm going to show you guys proof that he posted it on Instagram. Hold on, guys. I got to check on my webcam real quick. It's doing some funny stuff that I don't like. There we go. Got it under control now. I think. Yeah, we got. Yep, we got it under control. Should be okay now. All right, let me go ahead and pull up this post from Kurt Angle on Instagram. All right, guys, here we go. It's coming up. Shout outs to Ringside News for this screenshot Kurt Angle's tweet on Instagram. Here it is, guys. There's that tweet from Kurt Angle. There it is, man. So there's your proof right there. He posted that tweet. He put that screenshot of him and Triple H on Instagram. Jamie Noble is set to wrestle his last match in WWE tonight. If he hasn't already. I mean, it's past 10 o'clock already, man. Jamie Noble first made his WWE debut in 2001. During his first stint in the company, Jamie Noble wrestled in the Cruiserweight division until his release. Now, I don't know about his release, but Noble returned to the company in 2005, and since then, he has portrayed many roles for the company. His most notable role in the past few years was when he was part of Seth Rollins' security team called Jimmy and Jey Security with Joey Mercury, although he only won the Cruiserweight Championship once. Many fans remember him for portraying an underdog role given his size. A couple weeks ago, Jamie Noble announced that he would be wrestling his final match, his final WWE match at a live event. He probably already did. Noble will be wrestling his final match in front of his family. Jamie Noble currently works as a producer and hasn't wrestled in several years. Therefore, it will be interesting to see how he handles himself in the ring. Apart from Noble's match, there are 2 more matches advertised for that show. Braun Strowman, in particular, for an example. Braun Strowman and the Brawling Brutes. And Rich Holland versus the Usos and Sami Zayn. I don't have much AEW news, but I do have a little bit. Now we have Madcap Moss versus Karrion Kross. What's y'all's take on the story? I know you guys are not really a Jamie Noble fan. Guess what, guys? I got some news on Cameron Grimes. This recently just came up not too long ago. WWE is eyeing Cameron Grimes for main roster call-up. WWE has a full roster of future superstars in NXT, and some of them are more prepared for television than others. And guys, when we get to the AEW Sunday morning or Sunday night news in a minute, we'll get to the AEW Sunday night news in a minute. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, if you guys missed my Ring of Honor Final Battle and the Deadline reviews combined, you can go check it out. I gave you guys your WWE and AEW Sunday morning news. So that is where you'll find and you'll be able to listen to me give you guys your WWE and AEW Sunday morning news on there. So I will post a link in the live chats for you guys to click on it and go to it. Reality Creator, I will post a link in the live chat for you when I get done going over your WWE and AEW Sunday night news here. I'm just about done giving you guys your WWE Sunday night news. Now, Sean reported very hopeful update behind Fightful's paywall regarding Cameron Grimes' marriage call-up. WWE staff obviously knew that Cameron Grimes has a lot of experience and he could be a logical choice. But let's be honest, in my honest opinion, I feel like Cameron Grimes should have already gotten called up to the main roster. I mean, he's been main roster ready for the past, I'd say, 1-2 years already. They should have been on the main roster a year ago, man. Why did they decide to call him up now? Because he has star potential written all over him. So it says here, and I quote from Sean Rossap, that it was reported recently that Cameron Grimes was considered for an NXT call-up, but hasn't really appeared yet. Fightful Select spoke with several WWE staff who considered Grimes a natural fit, with one noting that he's been working television for over 5 years straight and has great familiarity with producer Shane Helms, who used to be Hurricane back in the Attitude Era in WWE. That was his gimmick. Who does work on Raw and SmackDown. End quote. WrestleMania season is upon us. So, never know who will show up on that journey. Royal Rumble is on January the 28th. I'll be live with your 2023 Royal Rumble watch along, as well as your WrestleMania 39 Night 1, Night 2 watch alongs as well. Next year, I'll be live with every single WWE and AEW pay-per-view watch-along all over again. And I'll be reviewing those pay-per-views as well. Now, The fact that the Royal Rumble is on January 20th could also provide a perfect opportunity for a surprise date. And a surprise debut for Cameron Grimes, perhaps, maybe. Only time will tell which direction WWE decides to go with Cameron Grimes. But it seems that he will enjoy the bright lights on Raw and SmackDown. Or should I say Raw or SmackDown soon enough. What's y'all's take on this call-up, man? They should have been called up years ago. This is the way I feel about it. What are y'all's thoughts on Cameron Grimes being called up, man? Let me know. Oh, and speaking of call-up, speaking of someone else who should have been called up, Von Ratner is another person that should have been called up to the main roster. Von Ratner was pitched for during the main roster call-up. I got some news on that. I got some information and some answers on that, man. Von Wagner made his NXT debut in 2019. Since then, he has been turning heads due to his massive size and agility. While his in-ring skills have been top-notch, many fans have been critical of his charisma and mic skills. Despite his tenure in NXT, Von Wagner has been featured consistently. However, he has failed to win the brand's top prize. Now it looks like Von Wagner might be promised, or should I say promoted, to the main roster. You know Cameron Grimes will be promoted to the main roster. You know Braun Breaker's going to be promoted to the main roster. Remember, I gave out that news on my WWE, or not WWE, but on my Ring of Honor Final Battle and NXT Deadline reviews combined. I did give out that news on Braun Breaker being ready to be called up to the main roster. If they're willing to promote Von Wagner to the main roster, then I know they're willing to promote Braun Breaker to the main roster, and Cameron Grimes and Mandy Rose and Toxic Attraction and Miku Satomura, you know, talents like that. I envision that Lyra Valkyria will be called up to the main roster in 2024. Or maybe 2025. I think Lyra Valkyrie will be the next NXT Women's Champion. We might see Roxanne versus Lyra Valkyrie down the line. I think Lyra Valkyrie may come to NXT as a heel. I don't know. She has been a babyface all her career in NXT UK. So, and she's still one of my favorite NXT UK women's talents to this day. I don't care what any negative WWE AEW Shield has to say about it. Fightful Select is reporting that Von Wagner's name was pinched for the main roster call-up in the past. In fact, he was briefly slated for a main roster call-up last year. Fightful also notes that there will be a steady flow of NXT talent brought up to the main roster instead of the long evaluation period in NXT. Now, it says here, and I quote, "We've heard Wagner's name mentioned as someone who has been pitched for a possible call-up in the past. We haven't heard that defensively will happen, but the company did already get, several looks at him on the main roster, on the main event. Not the main roster, main event is what I was trying to say. You guys get it. They continue on to say that he was briefly slated for a main roster call-up last year. Fightful Select says they were told that there will be more slow and steady flow of NXT talent rolled up to the main roster moving forward. Maybe that explains why some NXT talent have been appearing and been used on the show known as Main Event that comes on every Sunday nights, right? Am I correct? Anyways. And to expect less years, long evaluation periods in NXT per Fightful Select, end quote. That's what they say. Now, it looks like we can expect to see Von Wagner debut on the main roster soon. Considering WWE has already pitched his name a couple of times, only time until Wagner is ready for the main roster call or not. Ringside News will keep me up to date on the situation. If I get updates on Von Wagner or Cameron Grimes main roster call up, I will, of course, like I do every week, I will do a WWE AEW news live stream. Or that news, that update or information or news will be given during one of my reviews this week. Now, your last WWE Sunday night news of the evening is on main event. It's on WWE main event. So apparently there's some answers as to why WWE has NXT talent work matches on main event. WWE main event was started a few years ago. Although the show's name is main event, it primarily serves as the place where the lower card talent get their television time. Wrestlers who fail to feature prominently on Raw and SmackDown are given more time on main event. However, recently WWE main event has served different purposes. For the past several months, NXT superstars have been making appearances on main event and competing against some of the main roster talent. Fightful Select is reporting that NXT talent is being used on main event to elevate how the main roster audience reacts to them. Aha! I knew it! I was right. I knew it. I knew this had something to do with the main roster call-ups. I knew it, man. Look at me. Look at it, man. I'm right again, man. Man, you love to see it. I was right again, man. Right again. Right again I was. Look at that. Oh, man. It feels good to be right, man. Really. Really, man. It was also noted that the NXT talent considers it a reward to appear on WWE main event. Same thing Carmelo Hayes said. There was this news article I saw on Carmelo Hayes saying him being on NXT main event, or yeah, we might as well call it NXT main event. Given that there's a lot of NXT talent on there. I remember Carmelo Hayes, I seen the article, a news article where Carmelo Hayes said that him being on the main event was just a way of WWE rewarding him. I remember seeing that. And I'm thinking, aha, gotcha. So the main roster call-ups have a lot to do with the main event, apparently. Because it says that NXT talent is being used on main event to elevate how the main roster audience reacts to them. Now you guys see why I'm saying it the way I'm saying it now. It was also noted that the NXT talent considers it a reward to appear on the main event. It says here, and I quote, since the return to live crowds last year, NXT talent has regularly worked dark matches or on main event to help elevate them. They go on to say one NXT source indicated to them that WWE higher-ups feel it gives them a more accurate reflection of how a talent would immediately connect with a main roster audience, since they're largely working in front of the same few hundred people on weekly NXT television. Then they go on to say it was reiterated to us that appearing on main event doesn't mean that there's been a pitch for a call-up or plans for one. Instead, WWE is trying to get looks at talent on the road outside of the aspects of the Performance Center. Several NXT talent have told us they view getting looks on the main event as a reward. End quote. Now, using NXT talent to work main event in front of the main roster crowd seems like a good idea. I agree. I agree with this, even though I don't watch main event, but I agree with this. I still agree with it. So, just have to wait and see if this makes any difference once the superstars are called up to the main roster. I will get updates from Ringside News. Ringside News are my only wrestling sources in the community, so if I get updates regarding the main roster call-ups, of course I will let you guys know. Now, that's going to do it for your WWE Sunday Night News. Now we're going to go over your AEW Sunday Night News. which is on Trent Seven and Thunder Rosa. That's the only AEW news I have for tonight so far right now. Oh, believe me, there's going to be a lot more WWE and AEW news coming in this week. And I'm going to be keeping an eye on the ringsidenews.com website too, on all those news. Keep an eye on all the other sources too, you know, all the news they give out as well. Mainly Ringside News because they're my main sources. But anyways, we're going to start with the news on Thunder Rosa. So apparently, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but Thunder Rosa apparently has new projected in-ring return time frame. Thunder Rosa is a major star in the AEW women's division, no question about it, but she has defeated some well-known opponents and joined an exclusive group of women who have held the AEW Women's Championship, including Shida, Baker, and now Jamie Hayter. Thunder Rosa's injury previously prompted her to step down as AEW Women's Champion, but now a return is in sight. Rosa is now expected to return in February, according to Dave Meltzer on F4WOnline.com. Many people thought she would be Soraya's mystery partner against Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter on January 11th at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles. Well, let's just say maybe it could be Sasha Banks. It could be her. You never know. I mean, given that the history that Sasha Banks and Saraya had in WWE, I mean, they were good friends in WWE. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Naomi was spotted with Jade at a party, so I know Naomi's going to make her AEW debut and join the Baddies. That's what's going to happen. Naomi's going to make her debut and join the Baddies, and I think Jade is probably going to kick Layla Gray out of the Baddies. So maybe this would be a chance for Layla Gray and Kiera Hogan to get their revenge on Jade for kicking them out. I think that's the way that's going to go when Naomi makes her AEW debut. I could see her joining the Baddies, man. I definitely can. Now, Meltzer also indicated that the most recent update on her return looks like February. It says here, and I quote, "The last word we heard was she hoped to be back in February. There were a lot of people who thought she would be Soraya's mystery partner again, or should I say Soraya's mystery partner against Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter on January the 11th at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, but the last word on her return was February," end quote. Thunder Rosa relinquished the AEW World Women's Championship to Jamie Hayter. Now, that relinquishment also gave Toni Storm a legit, I should say, AEW Women's World title run instead of an interim one. Rosa addressed her injury recovery in a video posted on her YouTube channel. This is what she said. She says here, and I quote, "The recovery is going well. This week, I was just able to do squats with a 2-pound dumbbell. I haven't done any lifting for the last 4 or 5 months, which is huge. 2 weeks ago, I was able to do a 5K, which I walked half the way because I'm not allowed to run. I can jog. That's pretty much it. Those are big milestones for me. I have not been able to be in the ring yet, so we're working on that," end quote. Let's see when Thunder Rosa returns to the ring. She could come back to AEW and keep the momentum. We also never know what that roster will look like in a couple of months. I can see Thunder Rosa coming back and turning heel. You know, I can see her coming back and turning heel on Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm. I could see her feuding with Jamie Hayter as a heel. I really could see that. That should be after the Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter feud. In my honest opinion, I think after Jamie Hayter feuds with Britt Baker, I think Jamie Hayter's next feud should be with Thunder Rosa. Because I know Jamie Hayter is beating Britt Baker and is walking out still the AEW World Women's Champion. It makes sense. It makes sense to have Jamie Hayter beat Britt Baker to walk out still the AEW World Women's Champion, and then Thunder Rosa coming to make her debut only to turn on the crowd and Jamie Hayter as babyface. Jamie Hayter will be a babyface then. We could, within next year, within the beginning of next year, we could see Britt Baker turning on Jamie Hayter. And that could lead to a Britt Baker feud. So that's the way I see it. Now, what do you guys think of this story? Let me know. In your last AEW Sunday night news is on Trent Seven. So apparently, AEW has brought in a lot of people who used to wrestle for the WWE. Of course, that's nothing new. We all knew that years ago. After this week's episode of AEW Rampage, fans saw another addition to that list in Trent Seven. Despite his impressive debut on AEW Rampage, Tony Khan has not signed a recently released WWE superstar to an official contract. Trent Seven appeared as recently released WWE superstar to an official contract. Now, Trent Seven appeared as Kip Sabian's handpicked opponent for Orange Cassidy in the most recent episode of Rampage. And the Best Friends, remember, won the AEW All-Atlantic Championship match. Also, Trent Seven was also in attendance at the Ring of Honor Final Battle pay-per-view. Tony Khan was asked if Trent Seven was officially signed to either his promotions or the post-show Final Battle media scrum. Now, Trent Seven left WWE to take some time off, to think about himself. I guess he needed to recuperate himself or something like that. I guess he had some personal problems in his life or in his family, maybe. I don't know. Especially, and I quote, he's been in Texas. He obviously wrestled on AEW Rampage last night. He could appear with us again. He competed that Friday night and was here watching the show very keenly. He could be a good opponent for any champions in Ring of Honor. He was great in a championship match. End quote. Given his previous success with Triple H and NXT UK, it will be interesting to see if Trent Seven becomes All Elite during the pre-Final Battle media scrum. The Jaguars president discussed the return of WWE legends Iron Anderson and Jake the Snake Roberts to All Elite Wrestling programming. But I feel like Trent Seven doesn't want to explain to everybody why he really left WWE. I would love to know why he really left that company. I really do. It's like he's holding it back. He doesn't want to tell anybody. It must be that personal, man. Really. He said he wants to take some time from WWE, but I don't think that's the real reason why. He wanted to take some time from WWE? Really? That's the answer that Trent Seven wants to give? Yeah. I don't want to say it sounds suspicious, but from the way he's saying it, it kind of does. From the way he's saying it. Now, what are y'all's thoughts on this possibility? On Trent Seven being All Elite? Let me know. Folks, that's going to do it for your WWE and AEW Sunday Night News. I'm going to go over the chat and see what everybody said here. All right, let's go over what everybody said here. Hassan, how you doing, man? I hope you're doing okay. Ring of Honor Final Battle was great. The Deadline was great too. But only one match that stood out to me that didn't really deliver, that I didn't really like, and that's Isla Dawn versus Kaylee Ray. I thought they should have. They should have did a lot more better with that match. They should have did legitimately a whole lot more better with that one-on-one women's singles match. On tomorrow, Monday Night Raw is on AEW Dark. Raw called the movie Winter is Coming. Yeah, AEW Winter is Coming is Wednesday night. I know you was talking to me, Hassan. I was just trying to give you guys your AEW news like I usually do. You know how that goes. You've been here. Or anybody else, you know how it goes. Reality creator. He says, I can't wait to see Mercedes Varnado versus Rosa, Shida, Hayter, Storm, Athena, Riho, and Dib. Yeah, those are some really good talents, man. They are really good at what they do, man. They really are. No question about it. My favorites are Mercedes Varnado, Rosa, Hayter, Shida's great, Toni Storm, and Athena, Riho, and Dib. Dib is great. I love her theme song. Dib's is great. Riho, not really a fan of Riho, but Athena, I was a fan of Athena in her NXT days. I don't know if I consider myself a fan of her in AEW. But nonetheless, Renato, Rosa, Hayter, and Storm, I am fans of. And Shida, I am huge fans of. Hayter's my main favorite female talent. She's my main favorite. Now, well, did I zoom in Ring of Honor Final Battle on YouTube for Tino? Yeah, I know Tino was live for his Ring of Honor Final Battle watch along. I know. And then Reality Creator says that it's the right time now for AEW to introduce the women's title belts. The women's tag belts. Excuse me. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see if they actually do it or not. I wonder what JD's going to have to say about that. I wonder what the smart guys like him, myself, and other people have to say about it. Have to really say about it. I ain't going to say what I have to say about it until it happens. Hassan says he chose the main event on Peacock. Nah, I'm not choosing it. No thanks. Ain't about to have me watching that shit. Nope. Darby Allin should be the next AEW World Champion, and AEW needs to put all the All-Atlantic belt on Hobbs. No, WWE, or why did I say WWE? I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. AEW needs to put the TNT Championship on Powerhouse Hobbs. It should have happened. It should have happened, man. Remember that triple threat match between Wardlow, Samoa Joe, and Powerhouse Hobbs, Reality Creator? That is where Wardlow should have dropped that title to Powerhouse Hobbs. That's where Powerhouse Hobbs should have became the new TNT champion. I don't know why. I don't know why you would want AEW to have Powerhouse Hobbs at TNT champion at the last minute. He should have already been TNT champion. From watching that triple threat match between him, Wardlow, and Samoa Joe for the TNT championship. Now they got Powerhouse Hobbs and these useless fucking vignettes and shit. I mean, what? That's not doing him any good. Powerhouse Hobbs should have already been TNT champion, man, the way I see it. I don't know why they had Samoa Joe retain a TNT championship in what was the best match, but there was a dumb finish at the end of that match that I did not like, that nobody liked at all. Jade Street should be ended by a returning Statlander or by Willow. Honestly, I think Kayla Rossi should be the one to end her streak because her and Kayla Rossi, if you go, okay, reality creator, do you have Instagram? Okay, you need to go to Instagram. You need to go to Instagram and, or you can go into Google search and search photos of Kayla Rossi and Jade Cargill. There's this photo of Kayla Rossi and Jade Cargill. There's this photo shoot of Jade Cargill and Kayla Rossi in the same photos together. So apparently they are fitness buddies. And I think Kayla Rossi is somehow the protege of Jade Cargill. I think it only makes sense to have Kayla Rossi dethrone Jade Cargill because they're friends, you know? They're allies. And I think she was trained by Jade Cargill too. Way before her AEW debut. That's how I feel about it. Statlander is a good option too. I could see Statlander becoming the new TBS champion. I could see that. Given that I love Statlander's gimmick and how she does it. And she's in the ring too, man. I would love to see Chris Statlander as TBS champion. That's the one thing I would love to see, man. That's the one thing I agree with you on right there. But the All-Atlantic Championship belt, I don't think that should go to Powerhouse Hobbs. The TNT Championship should have went to Powerhouse Hobbs, in my opinion. He should have already been TNT champion. Yes, I went over the AEW Sunday Night News. I know you was here listening. And then he goes on to say, yet Logan Paul went straight to the main roster and was even given a title shot in his second match. And not even the wrestler, he's a celebrity. So it's like, what is he still doing on TV? Shouldn't celebrities be in seats watching matches rather than being used and being booked in matches? You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. As I was saying earlier. He says, and then he goes on to say, let's see, what does he say next? There's experienced wrestlers that were in NXT for years. Yet Ronda, who was never a wrestler, is made the champion and the highest paid woman on the roster, and a YouTuber who was never a wrestler. She is so terrible, dude. They need to get that title off of her quickly, dude. She is a terrible SmackDown Women's Champion. She really is, dude. Straight to the main roster getting title shots. I know, man. It's ridiculous. WWE and NXT is a joke. Oh, man. It was a joke when Vince and Bruce was in charge. It's not a joke anymore because now Triple H is head of creative. Now he's in charge. He's done made some very, very soluble good changes to Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. Now I think his focus is on making changes to NXT. I hope to God it is. Because NXT desperately needs some change. And we desperately need the black and gold brand back. But at this point, you might as well say the black and gold brand is dead. I don't think there's no bringing it back. WWE take experienced wrestlers that have wrestled for years on the indies and for other promotions and put them on their so-called development brand and then put Logan Paul on the main roster. I know, it's so dumb, dude. It's so dumb how they used Logan Paul when clearly we all know, even you know yourself that he's not a real wrestler. He's a celebrity. Just a celebrity, dude. Why is WWE using celebrities? They don't need celebrities, man. They don't need celebrities for WrestleMania 39. It's ridiculous. Shit sounds so stupid. It really does. AEW destroying NXT, which needed to happen, was the beginning of that watered-down clown anti-wrestling promotion downfall. Oh, man. Yeah, all because of Vince and Bruce. You can blame Vince and Bruce for that one. Where's that watered-down joke of the clown anti-wrestling company going to get talent from to replace their aging ex-Ring of Honor and TNA roster? You must be talking about AEW, I assume. Son says, I will try it myself for AEW Dark Raw for winter is coming on. Tournament movie. Okay, well, try it, man. By the way, thank you to those of you who joined the live chats, man. Hopefully, the rest of you will be able to be in the live chats next time for my Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite, SmackDown Rampage reviews and watch-alongs. Now, as far as my YouTube content creator schedule goes, I'm going to go over the schedule for this week before I get off of here. Hey, reality creator, if you're new to the channel, man, you can subscribe, man, for more wrestling and gaming content. You don't have to. I'm not making you to. If you want to subscribe, you can. It's on you. You don't have to. But, The schedule for this week, I will be uploading Sky Blue versus Jamie Hayter match 1 after this. I'll be recording it, and then I'll be uploading it. And then Monday, I'll be uploading Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter for the AEW Interwinners Championship video. I thought that was one of the best matches on the Full Gear pay-per-view. And then Tuesday, I'll be live for my Monday Night Raw review Tuesday morning. The live stream for the review live. Maybe somewhere around 1:20 a.m. I know the review will be live at 1 o'clock. You know, royalty music will be playing. You know, you'll see that screen where it says the review or the stream will start in a few minutes. On and all that, such and such. Wednesday, my NXT Fallout review will be live. We're going to be discussing the fallout of NXT Deadline and all the matches that are booked for NXT. I'll give you my thoughts on that and the full show overall. WWE AEW Wednesday night and Wednesday afternoon news will be given to you guys on the NXT review as well. So after the review, you guys will be giving your WWE AEW Wednesday afternoon news, which is probably going to be, it's kind of slated to be a lot. It might be a lot, I'm not sure. I'm off Wednesday, so it could be a lot. On days when I try to work, I don't really try to make it a lot because I want to be at work early, be at work on time. The AEW Done Winter is coming. Watch along and review will be live this Wednesday night. There will be no content Thursday. And of course, your WWE AEW Friday afternoon news live stream will be live. It's Friday afternoon. And then your WWE AEW Rampage December the 16th, 2022 watch along will be live. And then Saturday, I'm going to be streaming a whole bunch of content Saturday. The SmackDown Rampage review will be live. I'll be streaming Floodgate and streaming Dragon Ball Z Verse 2 on the PS4 online, helping brand new players complete their new Power quests for the first time ever. For the first time ever since I haven't been on the game. I haven't been on the PS4 playing my games for the last 8-9 months. So it's gonna be a while. It's been a while, man. I'm glad that I'm actually returning to streaming games on YouTube, man. I want to see whether the quality is going to be different or it's going to be the same or not. Which I'm hoping it's going to be different. It's going to be better gaming quality. So if not, I'm still ready, or believe it or not, I'm still going to find me a gaming laptop, man. So where I can stream it on a laptop still on the PS4. The end of WWE is upon us. Get down on your hands and knees for our Lord and Savior of Pro Wrestling, AEW, and repent. So, I got a question for you, reality creator. Do you like the changes that Triple H has made to Monday Night Raw and SmackDown? Do you think Triple H would be a better chairman than Vince McMahon? I think he would. Yeah, it's coming out soon. It's on the AEW Fight Forever video game. It's coming out soon. Well, guys, I'm getting out of here, man. Thank you guys for joining the live chats. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you can, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up. Let's get a lot of likes on the stream minimum. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. You can share this SmackDown and Rampage review to all social media platforms. All you got to do is hit the share button. And if you have Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat, you can share it on all those. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys in the live chat for your Monday Night Raw review, which will be Tuesday morning. So, like I said, thank you guys for joining me for your SmackDown and Rampage review. And I will see you guys later. I'm going to be streaming lots of wrestling content here on the channel and gaming content. So, Looking forward to seeing you guys in the live chat for my Monday Night Raw review. Peace. Stay safe always.